Hi, I'm Blake Saylor, and today I will tell you how do individuals create a identity when they interact online. Every day online, individuals present images of themselves that portray them living in the perfect life with a perfect family, perfect job, and perfect diet. But what if we told you that a lot of those identities were completely false? Each person has the ability to create a fake identity online, especially with the recent surge in social media platforms. Some create small lies about their job or family, and others create entirely different people to live as. It is important to understand why we as human beings create these alternate lives and what we can do to prevent our own lives to be corrupted by the internet. Today we will be diving into those different reasons internet can have a negative factor on our self-identities and the dangers involved in losing our true selves. First, we will talk about the reasons people are prone to creating fake identities on the internet. Then I will share more about how people use the internet to create their fake identities. Next, you will learn about a couple of real life cases that had a great impact on an individual's life. Finally, we will help you notice your own fake identities and how to fix that.
The main reason that people create fake online personalities is due to the fact that they are unhappy with their current lives, whether it is their social status, looks, income, or etc. In order to mask their insecurities with themselves, people pursue this life by making a fake account on a site and hide behind their computer. According to Nancy Ann Cheever, in some cases, a fake profile allows people to explore what it would be like to become a member of the opposite sex. It could be that they feel a closer connection to people of the same sex and they want to explore that, via CBSNews.com. Individuals may be confused about who they are and are using a fake personality on the internet to discover who they really are. People pursue this life by making a fake account on a site and hide behind their computer. This allows the individual to live a version of their fantasy while still being protected. In a way, because they are behind a computer, it is easier and less painful than putting their own person out into the world to attempt to gain their perfect life. The reason why people are so apt to believe in these facades is because the fake profile is showing an individual a lot of attention, and that strokes the person's ego, causing them to look past the warning signs and continue talking to that individual. These are extreme cases, however, but many of these reasons help us see why people create small lies on social media in order to portray a perfect version of their lives.
Now that we have learned the reasons behind fake online identities, let's discuss how people create these profiles over a long period of time. Social media has become an integral part of society, making it an increasingly difficult for people to distinguish between the persona they want to present to the world digitally and their real persona. As most social media choices are kept for years upon years, users end up divulging more true aspects about themselves and opinions than they realize. Although a quick tweet about your unhappiness with a specific event may seem insignificant at the time, a person following you may recognize a trend when you post or comment in other areas. People are choosing specifically what they want to express, calculating how to best express what is more important to us. These choices are evaluated by others and affect our digital reputation as we use the impression of others have on us. Dr. Michael Kowinski studies indicated that our media preferences and online purchases also reflect elements of our personality. Thus, computer generated algorithms may not just predict what you will watch on Netflix, listen to on Spotify, or buy on Amazon, they may also explain why. In conclusion, as many people broadcast fragments of their lives to the world, can also gain a very accurate and useful information about the individual.
Now that we have discussed how people use media in society to develop their online person, let's look at an extreme case involving a college athlete in 2013. In 2013, Notre Dame's linebacker Manny Te'o had a whirlwind of a year due to a fake online profile of his supposed girlfriend, Lana Kekua. In a span of 6 hours, Teo was given the news of the death of his grandmother and the death of his 22-year-old girlfriend. She had supposedly been in a fatal car accident in California and was in critical care. He would talk to her on the phone and at the hospital and kept in touch with her family members. After receiving the news, Teo led his team to a 20-3 upset against the Michigan State Spartans, creating an inspirational story for the entire sports world to get behind. But it was all fake. It was true that Teo lost his grandmother, but there was no record of Lana Kekua's death, not an obituary or even an accident report. She didn't exist. Instead, the pictures of her did exist on a different girl's Facebook profile. A man had been using a former classmate's identity as his supposed girlfriend without her knowledge. The man had been a former football prospect, but failed to sign with any team after graduating. He and Teo had contacted each other over social media over the sport of football. With this case, many people think that Manny Teo was in the one whole ordeal. The two had been pictured together on Instagram and on some previously deleted social media pictures. It is believed that the two came up with a ploy in order for Manny Teo to gain media attention and fame for the upcoming draft to gain interest. In this case, it shows that the entirety of the fake online identity the two had supposedly created was over pure attention. They wanted media attention, and that was enough to make an elaborate lie and hoax on the internet. Information from this story came from Deadspin.com and ESPN.
Now that you know the reasons behind fake identities and the noticeable incident in which fake identity occurred, let's look at how one can notice and correct their fake online identities. A big flaw in the world of social media is how everything is perfectly packaged and presented, as the world would like to see it due to the constant editing that is available on these sites. If you find yourself constantly revising the filter and the lighting on an Instagram picture, or retaking countless selfies to get the perfect angle, you might have a fake online personality. Today, editing is an essential practice that is needed in most jobs. But in life, there is no editing. Once something has happened and it is set in stone of a history. This causes people not to sound as good as they do online. We live online as if we do not make any mistakes, and that is unhealthy for us. We are constantly comparing ourselves to other people's feeds and attempting to replicate the perfect life they have in doing so, with every filter we put on a picture, we are placing a filter on our own life, masking it into something unrecognizable. Instead of striving for perfection online, strive for yourself. Take a picture of the KFC you just eaten and talk about the crappy movies you are watching. If we presented our true selves online, we would create a much more inclusive web where everyone feels welcome and equal. There is no longer this status quo about uploads and edits. We can just be ourselves. The unedited version of ourselves with no filter.
So today, we first talked about how the reasons people are prone to creating fake identities on the internet. Then, I shared more about how people use the internet to create their fake identities. Then, you learned about a couple of real-life cases that had a great impact on an individual's life. And finally, we learned about how you notice your own fake identity and how to fix that. Hopefully now you understand the reasons behind creating a fake identity and how people base those identities off from societal pressures. With those ideas placed in your head, hopefully everyone can recognize themselves when they create a fake identity and can alter their post in order to make it a less edited one. With this idea in place, the hope is that today's society can take the mask off from their fake versions and live a life with mistakes and embarrassments. In doing so, everyone will feel comfortable living the imperfect life everyone has, making the world a better place.